Hello, dear future doctors. Welcome to MemoNeet. I am Jay Thakkar. I am a MBBS student at Shri MP Shah Government Medical College, Jamnagar, Gujarat, and I am working as a biology SME here at MemoNeet. Today, we are going to solve the biology section of the Brahmastra Part Test-5. So, giving the test is really important. So, you give the test, and after giving the test, come here for the video solutions of the test. Here, we will provide the solutions to each and every question, and you can also ask your doubt in the comment section. So, we are going to solve the question number 151 to 200. So, let us start with that. So, the first question is question number 151. Let us read the question first. The question states that it is a statement based question, and there are two statements given, and we have to identify which of them is correct. So, statement 1 states that spermatogenesis starts at the age of puberty due to significant increase in the secretion of gonadotropin releasing hormone GnRH. Okay, and statement 2 states that when the Graafian follicle ruptures to release the secondary oocyte or ovum from the ovary, this process is called ovulation. Okay, so these are the two statements. Now let us read in detail. So see, the first statement is about spermatogenesis, and it is stating that it starts at the age of puberty due to significant increase in the secretion of GnRH, and this GnRH or the gonadotropin releasing hormone is secreted by what? It is secreted by hypothalamus. Okay, so hypothalamus secretes the GnRH, due to which the spermatogenesis is initiated during puberty. So this statement is absolutely correct. The second statement is when the Graafian follicle ruptures to release the secondary oocyte or the ovum from the ovary, this process is called ovulation. So yes, second statement is also correct. Okay, so the correct definition of ovulation is this only, that whenever the Graafian follicle ruptures, it releases the secondary oocyte, and that secondary oocyte is also called as ovum. So this process is called as ovulation. So here the statement 1 is also correct and statement 2 is also correct. So which is the correct answer to this question? It is option 3. That is, both statement 1 and statement 2 are correct. I hope you are clear with the question. Moving on to the next question, that is question number 152. So here it is a diagram based question. Okay, so in this diagram of breast, we have to identify A, B, C and D. Okay, so here A is there, then B is there, C and D are there. Now see, breast contains mainly of fat tissue, and these parts, okay, this part like this, okay, this part is called as the mammary lobe. Okay, so this A is the mammary lobe, so A will be labeled as mammary lobe. Okay, next is B. Now see, B is this small part. Okay, so this small part which you can see over here, okay, this part, so this is the, it is what? It is the mammary alveolus, okay, or the alveoli. So this is the alveolus. Okay, this small part. Then C part. Okay, so C is a duct. Okay, this duct, as you can see over here, which is arising from the mammary alveoli. So this duct is called as mammary duct. So C is nothing but mammary duct. Okay, then comes this swollen part. Okay, so this expanded part is called as the ampulla, and then these ducts which are formed over here. Okay, so these ducts which are found in the nipple areola complex, these ducts are called as lactiferous duct. Okay, so these ducts are called lactiferous duct. Okay, so A is mammary lobe, then B is alveolus, then C is the mammary duct, and D is the lactiferous duct. So which is the correct labeling over here? So this is option 4, that is A is mammary lobe, as we saw over here, this is the mammary lobe, then B is the mammary alveolus. Okay, so this part, this is the mammary alveolus, then C is the mammary duct. Okay, so these are the mammary ducts which are found before the ampulla, and the D is the lactiferous duct which is found after ampulla. Okay, so this is the lactiferous duct. So the correct answer of this question is option 4. Moving on to the next question, that is question number 153. The question 153 states that which of the following statements are correct regarding the female reproductive cycle. Okay, so the question is about female reproductive cycle, and we have to identify among these 5 statements which of them is correct regarding that. So let us read the statements one by one. The first statement is, in non-primate mammals, the cyclical changes during the reproduction are called as estrus cycle. Okay, so yes, this statement is absolutely correct. Why? Because see, what happens in primates is the menstrual cycle, and in the non-primates there occurs estrus cycle. Okay, so here the statement is about non-primate mammals. So in non-primate mammals, the cyclic changes are called as estrus cycle. So statement A is absolutely correct. Next is statement B. The statement B states that the first menstrual cycle begins at puberty and it is called as menopause. Now, is this statement correct? No, this statement is incorrect. Why? Because the first menstrual cycle during puberty is called as menarche. Okay, so it is called as menarche. It is not called as menopause. The menopause is the last menstrual cycle which occurs around the age of 45 to 50. So the first menstrual cycle will be menarche. So this statement is incorrect. The third statement is, lack of menstruation may be indicative of pregnancy. So yes, this statement is correct. Okay, because see, if pregnancy is there, then there will be implantation. Okay, and to prevent the shedding of endometrium, there will be high progesterone. So during pregnancy, the endometrium will not be shedded, therefore there will be lack of menstruation. So yes, it may be indicative of pregnancy. So statement C is also correct. Then statement D is, cyclic menstruation extends between menarche and menopause. So as we discussed over here, the first menstrual cycle is menarche and the last menstrual cycle is menopause, and the cyclic menstruation, it extends between the menarche and menopause. So yes, statement D is also correct. Then statement okay, so here statement A, C and D are correct. So which is the correct option? It is option 4. Okay, moving on to the next question, that is question number 154. The question 154, it is a diagram based question and we have to identify A, B, C and D. Now this is a diagram from where? Can you guess? So yes, this diagram is a cross section of the testes. Okay, so if we take a cross section of testes, then we find these structures like this. Okay, so here you can see the tubes, tube like structure. Okay, tubes, when we do cross, like see, if the tubes are like this, okay, this is a cylindrical tube, and if we do a cross section, then the cross section which we see from above will be circular, right? So see, these are the circular cross section, and it is a cross section of the seminiferous tubule of testes. Okay, so this entire thing is the seminiferous tubule. Okay, so this is the seminiferous tubule, and the area in between two seminiferous tubule is called as the interstitium. Okay, so this dark red area which you can see, this is the interstitium. Okay, so this is the seminiferous tubule. Okay, this I will highlight it once. So this is the seminiferous tubule, and this part, okay, this whole pinkish part is the interstitium. Now see, we have to identify A, B, C and D. Okay, so see, what is A first? So A lies in the interstitium, then it is a cell, so this will be called as interstitial cell. Okay, so A is the interstitial cell. Okay, and what is the function of interstitial cell? The interstitial cell is also called as Leydig cell, and this Leydig cell secretes testosterone. Okay, then B. So what is B? Now see, B is this cell. Okay, and this cell, as you can see, lies to the periphery of the seminiferous tubule. So what happens in the seminiferous tubule is the development of spermatozoa occurs, and in the seminiferous tubule at the periphery there are the male germ cell present. Okay, and these germ cells are called as the spermatogonia, or you can also call them as sperm mother cell. So these germ cells or male germ cells are the spermatogonia. These spermatogonia further develop into spermatocyte, and then they develop into spermatid. So that development occurs in this direction. Okay, in inwards direction. So the most developed stage is present in on the inner side. So as you can see, so B will be the spermatogonia. Okay, B is spermatogonia, and C, so as you can see over here, this C cell, okay, it is the sperm, it is spermatozoa. Okay, so as you can see the minute tails over here. Okay, so these are the tails of sperm, so it C is the spermatozoa. Okay, so A is interstitial cell, B is spermatogonia, C is the spermatozoa, and what is D? So see, D are these pyramidal cell. Okay, as you can see in the seminiferous tubule, these cells, this is D, and D are the Sertoli cells. Okay, D is the Sertoli cell, and what is the function of Sertoli cells? To provide the nutrition to the sperms, okay, or to the dividing cells. So that is the Sertoli cell. So as we saw, which is the correct answer over here? It is option 2. So the option 2 represents correctly that A is the interstitial cell, B are the spermatogonia, C are the spermatozoa, and D are the Sertoli cells. Okay, so the correct answer is option 2. Now moving on to the next question, that is question number 155. So it is also a statement type of question, and we have to identify which of them is correct. So the first statement is the release of sperms into the seminiferous tubules is called as spermiation. Okay, and the second statement is about spermiogenesis. So it is the process of formation of sperms from spermatogonia. Now see, these two terms might be confusing to you. First is spermiogenesis, and second is spermiation. Okay, so first of all, let us see about spermiogenesis. Okay, so what is spermiogenesis? Spermiogenesis is the process of conversion of spermatid to mature spermatogoa. Okay, so spermatid to spermatozoa is called spermiogenesis. Okay, so let me write over here. So conversion of spermatid to spermatozoa is called as spermiogenesis. Okay, so that process is called spermiogenesis. But in statement 2, what is it given? It is given that spermiogenesis is the process of formation of sperms from spermatogonia. So it is not the process of formation of sperms from spermatogonia. Instead, it should be spermatid to sperms, or the spermatozoa. So this statement is incorrect. So statement 2 is incorrect. The statement 1 is stating that the release of sperms into the seminiferous tubules is called as spermiation. Now see, in statement 1, the correct definition of spermiation is given. So what is spermiation? When the sperms are released into the seminiferous tubules, it is called as spermiation. So statement 1 is absolutely correct. So here statement 1 is correct, but statement 2 is incorrect. So what will be the correct answer of this question? It is option 1. That is, statement 1 is correct, but statement 2 is incorrect. Okay, I hope you are clear with this question. Moving on to the next question, that is question number 156. The question 156 states that which of the following statements are true for spermatogenesis but do not hold true for oogenesis. Okay, now see, in this question we have to answer the statements which are true for spermatogenesis. Okay, so the statements which are stating the correct process which happens during spermatogenesis but does not hold true for oogenesis. Okay, so that does not occur in oogenesis. So let us see the statements one by one. The statement A is it results in the formation of haploid gametes. Now see, haploid gametes are what? In human beings they are sperms and ovum. Now haploid gametes are formed in both spermatogenesis and oogenesis. So this process occurs in both spermatogenesis and oogenesis. So this will not be correct according to the question. Statement B is differentiation of gamete occurs after the completion of meiosis. So this process, okay, see, after meiosis the differentiation occurs in the spermatogenesis only. Okay, so the differentiation process after the meiosis occurs in spermatogenesis but does not occur in oogenesis. Okay, so this statement holds true according to the question. Then statement C is meiosis occurs continuously in a mitotically dividing stem cell population. Okay, so statement C also holds true for spermatogenesis but not for oogenesis. Okay, then Statement D is it is controlled by the luteinizing hormone and the follicle stimulating hormone. So luteinizing hormone LH and follicle stimulating hormone FSH are released by the pituitary gland of both male and female, and in both the sexes the LH and FSH help in the process of gametogenesis, that is spermatogenesis in males and oogenesis in females. So this statement holds true for both spermatogenesis and oogenesis, therefore it will not go according to the question. Then statement E is it is initiated at puberty. Now see, spermatogenesis is the process which is initiated at puberty, but oogenesis begins in the intrauterine life only, okay, during the embryonic period. So this statement holds true for spermatogenesis, but not for oogenesis. Okay, so according to the question we will include it. So which of the statements are true for spermatogenesis but do not hold true for oogenesis? So we found out that statement B, statement C and statement E are true for spermatogenesis but not true for oogenesis. Okay, so which is the correct answer to this question? It is option 4, that is B, C and E only. Moving on to the next question, that is question number 157. The question 157 states that the first movements of the fetus and appearance of hair on the head are usually observed during which month? Okay, now see, during the gestation period you need to remember the events that occur as the baby progresses. Okay, so first of all, the first sign of growing fetus is what? It is the heart sound. Okay, and that heart sound can be heard in the first month. Okay, after the first month. Okay, so then what happens is by the second month the development of limbs and digit occurs. Okay, and by the end of first trimester most of the organ systems are formed. Then the question is about the first movements of the fetus. Okay, so the first movement of fetus and the appearance of hair on head, this occurs during the 5th month. Okay, so during the 5th month, this is a developmental milestone which a fetus achieves. Okay, so the correct answer of this question will be option 3. Moving on to the next question, that is question number 158. Question 158 is stating that the 3 germ layers are formed during which stage of embryonic development. Okay, so the question is talking about formation of the 3 germ layers. So the formation of 3 germ layers occurs during the formation of the gastrula. Okay, and this process is called as gastrulation. During the process of gastrulation, the embryo divides itself into 3 germ layers, that is ectoderm, mesoderm and endoderm. Okay, so this process of formation of 3 germ layers occurs during the process of gastrulation. So during the stage of gastrula the 3 germ layers are formed. Okay, so the correct answer of this question is option 3. Moving on to the next question, that is question number 159. The question 159 states that when does oogenesis start in human females? Okay, now see, the process of oogenesis starts during the embryonic period. Okay, or during the intrauterine life when the fetus is inside the uterus. So the process of oogenesis starts during that period. So here the answer will be option 2, that is the process of oogenesis starts in human females during embryonic development. Okay, moving on to the next question, that is question number 160. Question number 160 is progesterone secreted by Graafian follicle is essential for what? Okay, now see, what is the function of progesterone in females? So the progesterone, it does not allow the endometrium to be shedded. Okay, so it makes the endometrium thick and it does not allow the endometrium to be shed, so it provides a fertile ground for implantation of the embryo. Okay, so the progesterone helps in the implantation of the fertilized ovum and the other events of pregnancy. So the correct answer of this question is option 3. Moving on to the next question, that is question number 161. The question 161 states that the signal for parturition originated from the fully developed fetus is termed as what? Okay, so what happens is the fully developed fetus provides the signal for parturition. Okay, and this signal is called as the fetal ejection reflex. Okay, so these are the three words. First is fetal. Fetal means related to the fetus, and fetus is providing the signal. Then ejection. So ejection means the removal of fetus. Okay, so the fetus is providing the signal for ejection of itself. That is called as the fetal ejection reflex. Okay, so the correct answer is option 2. Moving on to the next question, that is question number 162. So question 162 states that the gamete mother cell or the oogonia are formed in. Okay, so the gamete mother cell means the oogonia, and oogonia are found in what? Okay, so oogonia are formed in both ovaries before the birth. Okay, so the development of oogonia starts in the embryonic period itself. Okay, so they are found in the both ovaries before the birth. So the correct answer of this question is option 3. Moving on to the next question, that is question number 163. The question number 163 states that the correct sequence for the formation of mature female gamete. Okay, formation of mature female gamete is, now see what happens during the formation of female gamete or the ovum. That is, first of all, there is oogonia. So what are oogonia? Oogonia are the germ mother cell or the gamete mother cell which are found in the both ovaries before the birth. Then oogonia develops into primary oocytes. The primary oocytes are found in the primary follicle. These primary follicles are converted into secondary follicles. Okay, so this is how the process of development of mature female gamete occurs. So the correct answer of this question is option 1. The next question is question number 164. Question 164 states that during fertilization, the sperm comes in contact with which layer of ovum? Okay, so what happens is the sperm penetrates the corona radiata and then it comes in the contact of zona pellucida. Okay, so this is the ovum, and there is a surrounding layer. Okay, so this is a surrounding layer of the ovum which is called as the zona pellucida. Okay, so this is the zona pellucida. When sperm head comes in the contact with zona pellucida, there occurs the zona reaction. And what occurs in zona reaction? After the zona reaction, the another sperm cannot come in the contact of that and fertilize the ovum. Okay, so zona reaction ensures that only one sperm fertilizes one ovum. Okay, so that is called as zona reaction. So during fertilization, the sperm comes in contact with the zona pellucida layer of ovum. Okay, so the correct answer is option 2. The next question is question 165. It states that given below is an incomplete flow chart showing the influences of hormones on gametogenesis in human females. Okay, identify A, B, C and D. So the question is about human females and it is showing the influence of hormones. Okay, so what happens in the females is the hypothalamus. Okay, the hypothalamus, it releases which hormone? The hypothalamus is responsible for releasing GnRH, or the gonadotropin releasing hormone. This GnRH stimulates the anterior pituitary to release the FSH, or the follicle stimulating hormone, and the LH. Okay, then this FSH and LH, which are secreted by the pituitary, these go and stimulate the ovaries. Okay, so C will be ovary, and this stimulation of ovary leads to secretion of estrogen and progesterone. Okay, and these estrogen and progesterone which are released by ovary, these stimulate the uterus. Okay, so this is how the cycle goes in the females. Okay, so hypothalamus responsible for secretion of gonadotropin releasing hormone. Gonadotropin releasing hormone stimulates the anterior pituitary, which releases FSH and LH. FSH and LH stimulate the ovary to release estrogen and progesterone, which in turn stimulate the uterus. Okay, so the correct identification is found in option 2. Okay, so the correct answer of this question is option 2. Moving on to the next question, that is question number 166. So it states that read the given statements and select the correct option. So in the question there are two statements given, statement A and statement B, and we have to identify which of them is correct. Okay, so the first statement is breastfeeding during the initial period of infant growth is recommended by doctors for bringing up a healthy baby. So see, this statement is about breastfeeding, and during the initial period of infant growth the breastfeeding is extremely necessary. Why? Because see, the breast milk contains certain antibodies, and which type of antibodies are found in the breast milk? Yes, that is IgA antibodies. So these IgA antibodies are responsible for protection of the infant. Okay, so that's why the breastfeeding is recommended by the doctors in the initial period of infant growth. So statement A is absolutely correct. Now statement B is the milk produced during the initial few days of lactation contains few antigens absolutely essential to develop resistance for the newborn babies. Now see, is this statement correct? This statement is given here to confuse you. Why? Because see, this statement looks absolutely correct, but here there is a single word, that is antigens. Does the breast milk contain antigens? No, it contains antibodies. Okay, the IgA antibodies. These IgA antibodies are responsible for providing the resistance to the newborn babies. Okay, so therefore this statement will be incorrect. So here only statement A is correct. Therefore the correct answer of this question is option 3. The next question is question 167. The question 167 states that the scrotum helps in thermoregulation required during spermatogenesis. The temperature maintained by the scrotum is dash. Okay, now see, what is the function of scrotum? So scrotum is the out pouch. Okay, it is the pouch like structure in which the testes are located. And why are testes located in the scrotum? Because it keeps the level of the temperature 2 to 2.5 degrees Celsius lower than the body temperature. Okay, so the function of scrotum is it keeps the temperature 2 to 2.5 degrees Celsius lower than the normal internal body temperature, which is helpful for the process of spermatogenesis. So the correct answer of this question is option 3. Moving on to the next question, that is question number 168. This question states that a woman undergoes spontaneous abortion. Now the fetus which is expelled by her has following features. Okay, which are the features found in the fetus? Fine hair, then eyelashes, eyelids that are separated, etc. Okay, so these features were found in the fetus. Okay, that is fine hair were found, eyelashes were found, and the eyelids are separated. During which trimester would the abortion would have happened? Okay, so these features which are fine hair, eyelashes and separated eyelids, these are found in the 24th week. Okay, these are found in the 24th week, which means it is the end of second trimester. Okay, see, one trimester is of 3 months, that is one trimester is of 12 weeks, and at the end of 24th week these features develop, that is fine hair, eyelashes and separated eyelids. So at the end of 24th week it will be the end of second trimester. So these features are found at the end of second trimester. So the correct answer to this question is option 4. Moving on to the next question, that is question number 169. Question 169 is the following graph shows the levels of pituitary hormones during the menstrual cycle. What does A, B, C and D show? Okay, now see, this graph, as you can see, of hormone A. Okay, this graph is of hormone A. So this graph represents which hormone? This represents the progesterone. Okay, next we come to hormone B. Now hormone B is this graph. Okay, so this graph is of estrogen. Now at the day 13, okay, here is the day 13, and as you can see, this is the C graph and it is attaining a peak. So which is the hormone C which attains a peak? Okay, so this is the LH, and this period is called as the LH surge, which helps in the process of ovulation. So the hormone C is LH. Then remains this D. D is the FSH. Okay, so D hormone is FSH, that is the follicle stimulating hormone. So which is the correct matching of the hormones? It is in option 1, that is A is progesterone, B is estrogen, C is LH, and D is FSH. Okay, moving on to the next question, that is question number 170. The question 170 states that it is a statement based question and we have to identify which of them is correct. The first statement is all the sexual intercourses that take place in human beings lead to fertilization and pregnancy. Now, is this statement correct? No, this statement is incorrect because all the sexual intercourses do not lead to the fertilization and pregnancy. So, this statement is incorrect. Then, statement B is fertilization can occur if the ovum and sperms are transported simultaneously to the uterine region. So, does the fertilization take place in the uterine region? No, it does not take place in the uterine region. It takes place in the ampulla of fallopian tube. Okay, so statement B is also incorrect. So here the correct answer is option 2, that is both statement A and statement B are incorrect. The next question is question 171. In this we have to select the correct statement. Okay, so let us read the statements one by one. The first statement is the isthmus is the convoluted part of oviduct. So is this statement correct? No, this statement is incorrect. Second is human ovaries are located one on each side in the upper abdomen. So no, human ovaries are located in the lower abdomen. Okay, so this statement is also incorrect. The statement 3 is the shape of uterus is like an upright pear. No, shape of uterus is like an inverted pear. Okay, so this statement is also incorrect. And the fourth statement is after puberty the alternate ovaries generally release one secondary oocyte per month. So yes, this statement is absolutely correct. So what happens during the menstrual cycle is that the alternate ovary releases one secondary oocyte every month. Okay, so the correct answer of this question is option 4. Moving on to the next question, that is question number 172. Question 172 states that which of the following is a component of secondary follicle? Okay, now in the secondary follicle what is present? The primary oocyte is present. Okay, so primary oocyte is the component of secondary follicle. So here the correct answer is option 3. The next question is question 173. In this we have to find the incorrect match with respect to the humans. Okay, so let us see one by one. The first one is mammary lobes in both the breasts are 30 to 40. So yes, this is absolutely correct. Okay, then second is testicular lobules in testes are 500. So yes, in each testis there are 500 testicular lobules present. Okay, then the third is the sperm count in healthy male per ejaculate is 200 to 300 million. So this statement is also correct. The fourth statement is the number of primary follicles in the ovaries is 6000 to 8000 at puberty. So is this statement correct? No, this statement is incorrect because at the time of puberty the number of primary follicles in the ovaries are 60,000 to 80,000. Okay, so the correct answer of this question is option 4. The next question is question 174. It states that select the mismatch. Okay, so we have to select the incorrect matching. So let us see one by one. The first one is insemination. It is given transfer of sperms into the female genital tract is called as insemination. So yes, this statement is absolutely correct. Okay, the second is implantation, formation and development of blastocyst and its attachment to the myometrium. So does the blastocyst attach to myometrium? See, myometrium is the muscular layer of the uterus. Okay, so the implantation does not occur in the myometrium, but the implantation occurs in the endometrium. Okay, the endometrial wall is thickened and the implantation occurs in it. So this is incorrect. Okay, and we have to select the mismatch. So the incorrect statement is option 2. The third statement is fertilization is the fusion of sperm and ovum. So that is also correct. And fourth is parturition, that is the process of delivery of the baby. That is also correct. Okay, so here the correct answer will be option 2. The next question is question number 175. It states that the process of childbirth is called as parturition, which is induced by a complex neuroendocrine mechanism involving all these hormones except what? Okay. Now see, this question is about parturition. And what is parturition? It is the process of childbirth. What happens during parturition is there is a fetal ejection reflex which occurs during parturition, and it is a complex neuroendocrine mechanism. And in this, the following hormones are involved, that is estrogen is involved, oxytocin is involved, then CRH is also involved. But this hormone, that is the HPL, the human placental lactogen, is not involved during the process of parturition. Okay, so the correct answer of this question is option 4. Next is question number 176. Okay, it states that the phase of menstrual cycle which shows the presence of thickest endometrium. Okay, phase of menstrual cycle which shows the presence of thickest endometrium is, now see, the thickest endometrium is found after the secretory phase or the luteal phase, okay, of the menstrual cycle. So the correct answer of this question is option 2. Next question is question number 177. It states that the yellow colored structure which releases a chemical messenger which in turn maintains the endometrium, okay, it maintains the endometrium by which the pregnancy is maintained. Which yellow structure is being talked about? Now see, this yellow structure which is being talked about is the corpus luteum. Okay, and this corpus luteum releases what? It releases progesterone. Okay, and this progesterone helps in maintaining the thickness of endometrium, and it does not allow the endometrium to be shed, and so the pregnancy is maintained. So that is the function of corpus luteum. So the yellow colored structure is corpus luteum, that is option 1. Next question is question 178. So question 178 states that the secretions from which one of the following are rich in fructose, calcium and some enzymes. Okay, so the secretions from the male accessory glands contain fructose, calcium and the enzymes. The fructose is responsible for the nutrition of the sperms. Okay, it provides energy to the sperms. So this is the function of the male accessory glands. So the correct answer of this question is option 1. Next question is question 179. It states that in human female the blastocyst dash. Okay, so we have to find the correct statement about blastocyst. The first statement is it forms placenta even before implantation. No, it does not form placenta before implantation. Okay, so that is incorrect. Then it gets implanted into the uterus 3 days after ovulation. So that is also incorrect. Then the third statement is it gets nutrition from the uterine endometrial secretion only after implantation. No, it also gets before implantation also. The fourth is it gets implanted in the endometrium by the trophoblast cells. So yes, this statement is absolutely correct. Okay, so it gets implanted into the endometrium by the trophoblast cells. Next question is question 180. It states that the secretory phase in the human menstrual cycle is also called as what? Okay, so as we discussed before also, the secretory phase is called as the luteal phase. Okay, secretory phase is called the luteal phase and it lasts about 13 days. So the correct answer of this question is option 2. Moving on to the next question, that is question number 181. It states that the part of fallopian tube which is closest to the ovary is, okay, so there are 3 parts of fallopian tube: the infundibulum, the ampulla and the isthmus. Okay, so this is the infundibulum part. Okay, then comes the ampulla, which is the widest part, and near the uterus there is isthmus. Okay, so these are the parts of fallopian tube, and the part which is closest to the ovary is the infundibulum. Okay, so the correct answer is option 2. Moving on to the next question, that is question number 182. It states that what is the correct sequence of the sperm formation. Okay, now see, the sperm formation starts from the sperm mother cell, that is the spermatogonia. So which is the options which are showing spermatogonia? There are 3 options. Then comes the spermatocyte. Okay, so then there is development of spermatocyte. Okay, So it is there in two options. And then there is formation of spermatid. Okay, there is not directly the formation of spermatozoa. First the spermatid is formed and then it develops into spermatozoa. Okay, so the correct answer of this question is option 4. The next question is question number 183. It states that the menstrual flow occurs due to the lack of which hormone. Okay, now see, progesterone is the hormone which is responsible for the maintenance of endometrium. It does not allow the endometrium to be shedded. So whenever there will be fall in the level of progesterone, what will happen? The endometrium will be shedded and this will result in the menstrual flow. So the correct answer of this question is option 1, that is progesterone is responsible for the decrease in progesterone is responsible for the menstrual flow. The next question is question 184. Question 184 states that which one of the following is not the function of placenta? Okay, so let us read the statements one by one. First is it facilitates the supply of oxygen and nutrients to the embryo. So yes, that is the function of placenta. Second is it secretes estrogen, so that is also a function of placenta. Third is it facilitates the removal of carbon dioxide and the waste material from the embryo, so that is also a function of placenta. But fourth is it secretes oxytocin during parturition. So is this correct? No. Oxytocin is secreted by the posterior pituitary during parturition. It is not secreted by the placenta, so it is not the function of placenta to secrete oxytocin. So the correct answer of this question is option 4. The next question is question 185. It states that which of the following cells during the gametogenesis is normally diploid. Okay, so among the following 4 options we have to identify which of the cells is diploid in nature. First is primary polar body, so that is haploid. Second is the spermatid, so that is also haploid. Third are the spermatogonia. The spermatogonia are the gamete mother cell or the sperm mother cell, and these are diploid in nature. So the correct answer of this question is option 3, that is spermatogonia. Next question is question 186. Okay, it is a diagram based question and we have to identify the correct feature which is corresponding to the mark structures A, B, C and D. First of all, let us identify the A, B, C and D. Here A is the head of sperm, B is the neck of sperm, okay, then C is the middle piece, and D is the tail. Okay, now let us see the options one by one. The first option is it is about A, which is labeled correctly as head. Okay, as we saw here, A is the head. Okay, and it states that its anterior portion is covered by a structure which is filled with enzymes that helps in the fusion of the male and female gametes. So it is talking about this part. This is the anterior part of the head and it is called as acrosome. Okay, and it contains certain enzymes which helps the sperm to penetrate the ovum. Okay, so that is the correct statement and the correct answer of this question is option 1. Let us read the other 3 statements also. Second statement is about B, and B here it is given as middle piece, but it is incorrect identification because B is the neck. Okay, then in C it is given neck, but it is the middle piece which contains the mitochondria, so that is also incorrect. Then D is given as tail and it is given it releases energy source for swimming of sperm. Now see, the energy source is the middle piece which contains the mitochondria. Okay, so that is the energy source. The tail is not the energy source. Okay, so the correct answer of this question is option 1. The next question is question 187. It states that it is an assertion reason type of question. The assertion states that the testicular lobules are the compartments which are present in the testes. Okay, so that is true. Okay, because in the testes it is divided into several compartments. About 500 compartments are present called as testicular lobules. Next is the reason given here is these lobules are involved in the process of fertilization. So see, these lobules are not involved in the process of fertilization. The function of these lobules is spermatogenesis. Okay, not fertilization. So the reason is incorrect, but the assertion is correct. So the correct answer is option 3, that is, assertion is true but reason is false. The next statement is the next question is question number 188. So it is a statement type of question, and we have to identify which of the statement is correct. The first statement is menstrual flow lasts for 3 to 5 days. So yes, this statement is absolutely correct. Then statement B, or the second statement, is both LH and FSH, they attain a peak in the middle of cycle about the 14th day in the 24-day cycle. So in the 28-day cycle. So this statement is about the LH and FSH, and it is stating that they attain peak in the middle of the cycle. So is this correct? Yes, this is absolutely correct. And also the LH peak is called as the LH surge, which is responsible for ovulation. So statement 1 is also correct and statement 2 is also correct. Therefore the correct answer is option 3. Moving on to the next question, that is question number 189. So the question 189 states that placenta acts as what? So placenta also acts as an ultrafilter. Okay, it helps in the filtration process, and it also helps as an endocrine gland because it secretes certain hormones. So the correct answer of this question is option 3, both 1 and 2. Moving on to the next question, that is question number 190. Okay, so here we have to identify the correct labeling of the female reproductive system. Okay, so let us start identifying the parts. The first is this part. Okay, so this part is the fallopian tube. Okay, so one will be fallopian tube. Then second part is this part. Okay, so this part which is highlighted over here, this part is what? It is the uterus. Okay, so second part is the uterus. Then the third part is this one, these finger like projections. Okay, as you can see over here, these are the finger like projections. So that is the third part, which are called as fimbriae. Okay, then the fourth part, okay, this is the fourth part which is highlighted, that is the ovary. So fourth part is the ovary. Then fifth part is the narrow part of the uterus over here, it is the cervix. Okay, and sixth part, as you can see, it is the end part, that is the vagina. Okay, so the correct labeling over here is 1 is the fallopian tube, then 2 is uterus, 3 are the fimbriae, and 4th is the ovary, 5th is cervix, and 6th is vagina. So the correct answer of this question is option 1. The next question is question 191. It states that select the option which correctly matches the endocrine gland with its hormone and its function. Okay, so we have to match correctly. So let us see them one by one. First is ovary releases FSH. So no, this is incorrect matching because FSH is released by the pituitary gland. Okay, so this is incorrect. The second is placenta releases estrogen and it initiates the secretion of milk. So see, placenta does release estrogen, but its function is not the secretion of milk. Okay, so this will be incorrect. The third statement is corpus luteum secretes estrogen. So no, corpus luteum secretes progesterone. It does not secrete estrogen, and progesterone is essential for maintenance of endometrium. So that is also incorrect. So fourth is Leydig cells secrete androgen and it initiates the cells for production of sperms. So yes, this statement is absolutely correct. The Leydig cells or the interstitial cells, their function is to secrete the androgen, and it initiates the process of spermatogenesis. Okay, so the correct answer will be option 4. The next question is question 192. So it states that it is an assertion reason type of question. So let us see the assertion first. The assertion is the endometrium is necessary for implantation of blastocyst. Okay, so yes, this assertion is absolutely correct because the blastocyst implantation occurs in the endometrium. Okay, it is the endometrial layer of the uterine wall in which the blastocyst is implanted. So assertion is correct. The reason given here is in absence of fertilization, the corpus luteum degenerates, that causes disintegration of endometrium. So the reason is also correct, okay? Because see, when the corpus luteum degenerates in the absence of fertilization, there is a fall in the level of progesterone, and that leads to the disintegration of endometrium. So endometrium is shed. So the reason is also correct, but the reason does not explain the assertion over here, okay, that why the endometrium is necessary, okay? So here the correct answer will be that both the assertion and reason are true, but the reason is not the correct explanation of assertion, okay? So it will be option 2. The next question is question 193. It is a statement type of question, and we have to identify which of them is correct. The first statement is vas deferens receives a duct from the seminal vesicle and it opens into the urethra as the ejaculatory duct. So yes, this statement is absolutely correct, okay? The duct from vas deferens, okay, the duct which is vas deferens, it receives a duct from the seminal vesicle, and these two combine to form the ejaculatory duct. So this first statement is correct. The second statement is the cavity of cervix is called as the cervical canal, which along with vagina forms the birth canal. So yes, birth canal consists of these two canals, that is the cervical canal and the vagina. So that is the birth canal. So the second statement is also correct. So here the correct answer is option 1, that is both statement 1 and statement 2 are true. The next question is question 194. So here it is a match the following type of question. So let us see one by one. The first is placenta. Now what is the function of placenta? The placenta secretes the human chorionic gonadotropin. So A goes with 2. Second is zona pellucida. The zona pellucida is a layer of the ovum. So B goes with 3. Then C are the bulbourethral glands. The function of bulbourethral glands is the lubrication of the penis. Okay, so C goes with 4. And D are the Leydig cells which secrete the androgens. So D goes with 1. So which is the correct matching which you can see? It is seen in the option 2. So the correct answer of this question is option 2. The next question is an assertion reason type of question. The assertion states that FSH acts upon the ovarian follicles in female and Leydig cells in the male. So is the assertion correct? No, the assertion is incorrect. Why? Because see, FSH acts on the ovarian follicles in female, but on the Leydig cells, LH acts. Okay, so LH is responsible for acting on the Leydig cells. So the assertion is incorrect. Now the reason given here is the growing ovarian follicles secrete estrogen in female, while the interstitial cells secrete androgen in male human being. So yes, the reason is absolutely correct. Okay, the function of ovarian follicles is to secrete estrogen, and the function of the interstitial cells is to secrete androgen. Okay, so here the assertion is incorrect, but the reason is correct. So here the answer will be option 2. The next question is question 196. In this question, we have to identify A, B, C, and D, and the question is about spermatogenesis. Now see, hypothalamus releases GnRH, that is the gonadotropin releasing hormone. Okay, now this GnRH acts on the pituitary gland. Okay, GnRH acts on pituitary gland, and the pituitary gland releases two hormones, that is LH, which is given over here, and the another hormone is FSH. Okay, so that will be A. Okay, so A will be FSH. Then this LH, the LH acts on what? LH acts on the Leydig cells. Okay, or the interstitial cells. So B will be Leydig cells. These Leydig cells secrete androgens, and these androgens are responsible for the process of spermatogenesis. Okay, so B will be the Leydig cells. Now the FSH, which is secreted by the pituitary, what does it do? The FSH acts on the Sertoli cells. Okay, so FSH will act on the Sertoli cells. So C will be Sertoli cells, and these Sertoli cells will release certain factors, okay, which will help in the process of spermiogenesis. So A is FSH, then B are the Leydig cells, C are Sertoli cells, and D is spermiogenesis. So which is the correct identification? It is option 3. Okay, so the correct answer is option 3. Moving on to the next question, that is question number 197. Okay, it is a fill in the blanks type of question, and so let us fill in the blanks. Okay, so the first is zygote divides to form dash which is implanted into the uterus. So which is the state of embryo which is implanted into the uterus? It is the blastocyst. Okay, so zygote divides to form blastocyst which is implanted to the uterus. So one will be blastocyst. Next is the statement 2. Okay, so in the second statement it states that the structure which provides vascular connection between the fetus and the uterus is called what? So which is the connection between fetus and the uterus? It is the placenta. Okay, so placenta forms the connection between the fetus and the mother. So the second will be placenta. The third is the inner cell mass contains the certain cells, okay, which are called as dash, and they have a potency to give rise to all the tissues and organs. So which are these cells called? So these cells which are found in the inner cell mass are called as the stem cells. Okay, and these stem cells have the potency to give rise to all the tissues and the organs of the body. Okay, so third will be the stem cells. Then fourth is that by the end of dash most of the major organ systems are formed. For example, limbs and external genital organs are well developed. So by the end of which period the major organ systems are formed? So by the end of first trimester all the major organ systems are formed. Okay, so fourth will be the first trimester. The fifth statement is immediately after implantation the dash differentiates into an outer layer called ectoderm and inner layer called endoderm. Okay, so what differentiates? The inner cell mass. The inner cell mass differentiates into an outer layer called as ectoderm and the inner layer called as endoderm immediately after implantation. So fifth will be inner cell mass. So which is the correct matching showing here? It is option 4. Okay, so the correct answer will be option 4. Let us move on to the next question, that is question number 198. So it is a diagram based question and we have to identify the parts A to G. Okay, so the first is A. So what is A over here? The A is the seminal vesicle. Okay, so A is seminal vesicle. Okay, then we move on to B. So what is B over here? So B is prostate gland. Okay, then C is what? So C is scrotum. Okay, then D. Okay, as you can identify over here just below the prostate, so D are the bulbourethral glands. Okay, then E is the anus, F is the rectum, and G is what? So G is the ejaculatory duct. Okay, so G, see, as you can see over here, this is the vas deferens which is coming from the testes and it combines from the duct from the seminal vesicle to form a common duct which is called as the ejaculatory duct. Okay, so that is the correct identification. Now which is the correct option showing the correct identification? So as you can see in the option 3. Okay, so the option 3 is showing the correct identification, therefore the correct answer is option 3. Moving on to the penultimate question, that is question number 199. So we have to identify A and B in the following diagram. So this diagram is of the menstrual cycle and we have to identify this A and here the B. Okay, so what is this A and what is B? Now see here, what is B? So B is attaining peak after ovulation. Okay, so there is one peak, so B will be what? It is progesterone. Okay, so B is progesterone. And what is A? So A is this peak which is smaller. Okay, so A is FSH or the follicle stimulating hormone. So Here the correct answer will be option 3. Moving on to the last question, that is question number 200. The question 200 is identify the structure with 8 to 16 blastomere. Okay, so which is the structure with 8 to 16 blastomere in the following diagram? So it is this structure, that is E. Okay, so this E is the morula and it contains 8 to 16 blastomere. So the correct identification of the structure with 8 to 16 blastomere is option 2, that is E. Okay, so this correct answer is option 2. So here we have discussed the question number 151 to 200 of the Brahmastra part test 5. I hope you are clear with all the question. If you have any doubt in any question, please feel free to ask them in the comment section below. If you found this video helpful, make sure to hit the like button and share with your friends. All the best for the next upcoming test, and thank you so much.